Hello, welcome to Liz Rocks and Stuff. I'm Liz. It's time for episode 38 of What's in My Tumbler. After a 2-week hiatus, I am finally getting my tumblers going again, and it feels so good to finally have them back. So we're starting off with the Obsidian. These barrels were a little hard to open because if you remember, they've just been sitting. They haven't been tumbling, and they've just had water in them, so they were a little sticky. You'll see some of them were more sticky than others. This particular batch, this is my batch 1 of Obsidian. I'm not going to go through it or anything. It is what it is. So I just poured out the excess water, and then I am going to top that off with stage 4 grit. So these will be coming out of stage 4 next week, and then I'll put stage 2, or my batch 2 Obsidian in there. I also am going to put a tablespoon of borax like I usually do, just to make sure that that slurry is nice and thick and sticks to the rocks really well. And so then these are going to get put into stage 4. This is going to be a little bit of a shorter video this week just because I'm just starting things up. But I am going to be sorting through all of the rocks since I just rinsed them off when I shut everything down. I am going to go through them. So now Bahia Agates in stage 3. So these are also going into stage 4 this week. But I do need to go through these and make sure I don't have any chips or fractures or anything that's going to cause the finish to not be good. So I do go ahead and drain all of the water out of this barrel, and all of the remaining 2 barrels all get completely emptied out. And then I'm just going to sort through these to make sure that I don't have anything fractured. I did actually find one piece of onyx in here that had a pretty big chip out of it. Not sure when or where that happened, but I'm getting it out of here. I'm going to send it back to stage 1 so that it can get rounded over and not cause problems in my final polish. Especially going into stage 4, I want to be extra vigilant and make sure that there's nothing that's going to scratch or cause these rocks to not be nice and shiny when they're done. So next week I'll have my batch 1 Obsidian and the Bahia Agates will be coming out of stage 4 next week, so that's something exciting to look forward to. And then I'll start the second batch of Obsidian into stage 4 as well. So this is getting a tablespoon of borax and then 3 tablespoons of polish, which ends up just being whatever's left in this container. Luckily, I do have more of the stage 4, so I was able to refill that and I don't need to order more. So put that rock into a storage container for stage 1 rocks and get this going into stage 4 for next week. I'm really excited to see how some of these turn out. They do have, a few of them have some druzy pockets, so that'll be fun to see how they end up turning out. So going into Catdog Season 2, going through here I realized there is one cheetah jasper, and this was a really hard one to get open. It did not want to come open. But as you can see, the way I stored these was perfectly fine. After 2 weeks, they're still completely covered in water. They did not dry out at all. So that's why I always store them in the tumblers with the lids on. That helps keep the evaporation down. But anyway, like I was saying, so this is Catdog because it's cheetah jasper and labradorite. There's one piece of cheetah jasper in here, and then a ton of labradorite. Most of my labradorite is actually in this batch. But they do have a lot of other things. There's some aventurine in here. There's some pretty like turquoisey kind of rocks. I don't think they're turquoise, so I'm not sure what they are. I'll have to try and identify them. There's some quartz. There was some polychrome jasper. This is truly a big mix of different things, but it is a lot of my labradorite is in here, and then one piece of cheetah jasper. So it still qualifies as Catdog. But you know, it is what it is. So I'm excited to see how the labradorite turns out. It is a little soft, so I'm not sure how much of the shimmer and sheen we're going to see, but that's going to be in a couple of weeks. So this is going into stage 3 this week, and then so it'll be in stage 4 the week after next. So it'll be coming out in 2 weeks out of final polish. I don't really plan my tumblers. You never know when your tumblers are going to be done. So I don't make plans for when they come out. And usually I don't have multiple weeks where I have things coming out of stage 4. But that's what's happening this week. So anyway, 3 tablespoons of pre-polished stage 3 here. You might be, some people might use more than that. I'm trying to see if I can get away with using a little bit less. I don't like to go through it that fast, but so we'll see if 3 tablespoons is enough. And this one, that nut tried to get away from me, but we got that on there, and so this is getting marked as going into stage 3. So it'll be going into stage 4 next week. And then finally we have the rainbow tiger's eye, which is my brown, red, and blue tiger's eye. It, again, did very well in storage. Now this I know is going to take a little longer to round out the way that I want it to. Tiger's eye is a harder material, so it's a bit of a harder rock, but you can see it is rounding over. There's no sharp edges, but they're just not as smooth as I'd like. So we're going to keep going on these. I want these to turn out really good. I love Tiger's Eye. It's one of my favorite rocks. I was so excited to be able to find some of the red and blue. So we'll be tumbling this until I'm completely satisfied with how they are. So I'm not going to just move these along and leave them more natural like I do a lot of the times. I want these to be nice and smooth. So I do have a little bit of room left in this barrel. So I'm going to top it off with a few pieces of red. I tried to put 3, but 3 was just too much. So I ended up only putting in 2 more pieces. They're fairly small, flat pieces. And then water. And then this is still in stage 1. So it's going to get 3 tablespoons of stage 1. I did not do borax. I don't feel like borax is necessary in stage 1. So I'm going to just start doing borax in 2, 3, and 4 and see how I feel about that. But anyway, so those are all of my barrels, getting them started back up after a brief hiatus for the holidays, and I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next week.